Hello and welcome to The Telescope. Every week we bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Today we're on a static preview event of the Zeekr 7X. This is the SUV version of the Zeekr 007 Saloon we brought you roughly January this year. The way I want to describe this car is we all have that friend around us who's already very good, very competent, but they are always slightly unsure of themselves. They always try to look at other people. Oh, he's better than me in that area, she's better than me in that area. They are already probably one of the best colleagues around us, but they are still slightly unsure of themselves. This is that car. You will see what I mean later. In terms of size, this is in between the European spec standard wheelbase BMW X3 and the extended wheelbase China spec BMW X3. It's not preposterously big. However, it's on two 6.5, 45 20-inch wheels, which is one or two sizes bigger than what you will normally see in this class. The X3 is on two 45 19-inch wheels. It's not exactly what I would describe as muscular, but it definitely has its presence with this very significant front wheel arch, and a meaningful shoulder on this class of SUV is very rare to see. Here on the inside, it's so much more grown up. On the 007 Saloon, I said the steering wheel and the instrument display and the upper door panel is clearly carried over from the smaller and cheaper Zeekr X, where here on the 7X SUV, it's more related to the 001, the 009, the bigger, more expensive line of the Zeekr lineup, which is definitely welcome. The most interesting change this car has made is the placement of this central air outlet. It's placed above the screen. Now, with bigger and bigger central screens, it becomes more and more difficult to correctly place the central air outlet. If you place it too low, then it has to shoot the air upwards, which affects the performance of the air conditioning system. Now here, because this is an SUV, it's placed above the screen and the screen is slightly lower, so it kind of fits the SUV higher seating position. You're sort of looking down on everything. This new interior layout, the central air outlet above the screen, definitely works on this car. It's here in the rear cabin where I think this car has tried slightly too hard. It's not a criticism, it's precisely because it's too many positives. You'll see what I mean. First of all, space. This is a SUV targeted for the Chinese car market, so of course you have a lot of space, but this rear seat has two versions. Today we are on the top of the spec version with the seats on rails, so if I recline even further, you will see I'm moving forward to give me a 44-degree maximum backseat angle. This is very rare. You have to remember, this car is originally intended to compete with the BMW X3, and X3 definitely doesn't have a seat as elaborate as this one. Secondly, what you see here is a table and a screen. You also don't see this on a BMW X3, do you? But there's one other equipment that really shows how hard this car is trying to drive home this rear cabin luxury concept, is that this car, as a BMW X3 rival, has an electronically powered side sun blinder. I kid you not, this is on a BMW X3 rival. You never see this. And that's not all. If I pull down this central armrest, you will see there's a screen in it, which you can control just about any function: air conditioning, seating, music, and I can also control this sun blinder to go down through the screen. In terms of functionality, it's not an exaggeration to say this is more or less the equivalence of the BMW i7 central screen, and this is an X3 rival. My problem with all of this is how much is too much. It's trying very hard on all areas, tries to impress you, but some of these functions are unsuited, I would say, for this class of vehicle. For example, this seat. If I pull down to the maximum seat back angle, you will see from someone like me who's 5'11", the legroom is quite marginal. This kind of seat is not designed, it's designed for cars that are much bigger than this, has much longer wheelbase. There's nothing wrong with trying to give you the best of everything. This car is amazingly competent in all areas. My slight criticism is how much is too much. It almost feels like this car is slightly unsure of itself. But my feeling is this car is trying slightly too hard to drive home that purchasing decision. And that leads me on to things that could be improved. For example, I don't understand how could Zeekr put piano black paint on such a high frequency touch point. This is piano black on all four doors where you operate the windows. It's already covered in fingerprints. Second suggestion is, what do you think is this? If you're experienced with Land Rover products, and because this is an SUV, all of the lines here are quite straight, I initially thought this is the opening of the second glove box, where the glove box opened this way, but it's actually the side air conditioning outlet. My suggestion is to give it this area a little bit more detailing to let people know this is just an air conditioning outlet and not the opening of a second glove box. Third suggestion is how you open this door. Now, without me telling you, how do you think this door should be opened? I think everyone would come to this, right? But if you chose the electronically powered doors, the way you open this door is to press this button and the door opens itself. This is bizarre. If there is a latch, if there's a natural door handle, I think everyone will go straight to this first. And this button is clearly an afterthought. I forgot to mention the boot, 600 litre plus with clever underfloor storage. This car is, as I said, amazingly competent in just about every area. But having watched the video to this point, have you come to my conclusion? Do you think my conclusion is right? Is that even though it's already very good, it seems like this car is still slightly unsure of itself. It's pushing very hard on all areas. Price expectation, I believe this will be, the industry average is for the SUV to be around 30 to 40,000 renminbi, more expensive than the saloon it's based on. So I'm expecting roughly a 235,000 renminbi starting price. There is no obvious problem with the car at this point. We haven't driven it, nor does that price. But I think this car could do without that slightly trying too hard mentality. I think this car could ditch that rear screen, ditch the rear table, ditch the rear seats on rails, just having that fixed version, and it's still going to be just as good as it is now. Just be confident and stop doubting yourself. That is all from the Telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.